Sky Guardian had mentioned a few minutes ago the desire to read another section from the Vachanāmrut, a book that he has gifted me, so that we may read one page at a time randomly throughout these satsangs. This is a book which is spiritual in nature. It's a collection of about 300 discourses from a spiritual teacher known as Swaminarayan, whom is addressed as Sriji Maharaj in this book. It contains a lot of technical Sanskrit vocabulary, the language of spirituality, so it seems. This is Gadhadā 111, Vasana, and Ekantik Bhakta. Did we read this already? We did last time. So let us read the next one, Gadhadā 112. The attributes of the elements, creation. On Magshar Sudhi Punam, Samvat 1876, or the 1st of December 1819, in our calendar, Sriji Maharaj was sitting in Dada Kachar's darbar in Gadhadā. He was dressed entirely in white clothes. At that time, an assembly of sadhus, as well as devotees from various places, had gathered before him. Sriji Maharaj then said, "When one understands the nature of the causes of the entire creation, specifically Purusha, the primordial consciousness, Prakriti, the nature itself, Kal, the 24 elements, including Mahat Tattva, etc., then one is released from the bondage of one's inherent avidya, ignorance, and the entities evolved from it, the 24 elements." Thereupon, Muktananda Swami asked, "Maharaj, how can their nature be known?" Sriji Maharaj replied, "Their nature can be realized by knowing their attributes. I shall now describe those attributes. Purusha, the consciousness, is the controller of Prakriti, the nature, and is also distinct from her." Here we introduce pronouns of the masculine and feminine variety. Nature is seen as the divine feminine, Prakriti, whereas consciousness is seen as the divine masculine, Purusha. He is indivisible, without a beginning, without an end. He is indivisible, self-luminous, omniscient, Satya, Kshetrajna, and the cause of the activities of all objects that possess a form. He also has a divine body. Prakriti is composed of the 3 gunas, that is, tamas, rajas, and sattva. Heedlessness, passion, and purity. She is both Jad and Chaitanya, eternal, Nirvishesh, and Kshetra, the field of all the jivas, the individuals, and all elements, including the Mahatattva, the primordial substrate, and also the divine power of God. That which disturbs Maya, which is nirvishesh, and whose gunas are normally in a state of equilibrium, is known as Kal. Now I shall describe the attributes of Mahatattva and the other elements, so please listen. Chit and Mahatattva should not be regarded as being different. That is, the very substrate of the mind and the substrate of all of existence. The entire world inherently resides in a subtle form within Mahatattva, which itself is unchanging, luminous, pure, passive, and full of pure sattva gun. Now I shall describe the attributes of Ahamkar. Aham meaning I, and Kar meaning the sound or voice or expression. It is composed of the three gunas and is the cause of the evolution of all the Bhuts, Indriyas, and Anthakarans, their presiding devas, and the prans. It is passive, dense, and totally ignorant. I shall now describe the attributes of the person. The person is the site where all desires for sexual gratification and other sense objects are generated. It is subject to fluctuating thoughts and is the governor of all the Indriyas. Now I shall describe the attributes of Buddhi, the intellect. It possesses the knowledge of all objects. The specific knowledge which all of the Indriyas possess is also due to the Buddhi. Its inherent features are doubts, conviction, sleep, and memory. The attributes of the 10 Indriyas, the ears, the skin, the eyes, the tongue, the nose, the voice, the hands, the feet, the anus, and the genitals, is to engage themselves in their respective vishais, experiences. Now I shall describe the attributes of the 5 Tanmatras. The attributes of sound are that it is the indicator of all objects and the cause of all social interactions. Sound also reveals the nature and class of the speaker. It dwells within Akash, the space, and is also the Tanmatra of Akash. It is perceived by the ears. These are the attributes of sound. I shall now describe the attributes of touch. It is the Tanmatra of Vayu, the wind. Softness, hardness, coldness, hotness, and perception by the skin are the attributes of touch. Now I shall describe the attributes of sight. It reveals the forms of all objects. It resides subordinately in all objects and changes as the objects change. It is the Tanmatra of Tej and is perceived by the eyes. Now I shall describe the attributes of taste. Sweetness, pungency, distastefulness, bitterness, sourness, and saltiness are its attributes. It is the Tanmatra of Jal, water, and is perceived by the tongue. I shall now describe the attributes of smell. Fragrance and stench are its attributes. It is the Tanmatra of Prithvi and is perceived by the nose. Now I shall describe the attributes of Prithvi. It supports all jivas, individuals, and in the form of a celestial body, it is their place of residence. It separates the other four Bhuts, i.e. Akash, space, etc. And it gives a physical form to all life forms. These are the attributes of Prithvi. I shall now describe the attributes of Jal, water. It binds Prithvi and other substances, and it also softens and moistens all objects. It satisfies and sustains all life forms. Quenching thirst, subduing heat, and abundance are also the attributes of Jal. Now I shall describe the attributes of Tej. Luminance, causing the digestion of food, absorbing liquids, eliminating cold, drying, creating hunger and thirst, as well as burning wood, ghee, and other sacrificial offerings are the attributes of Tej. I shall now describe the attributes of Vayu, wind. Vayu causes trees to shake, and it gathers leaves and other objects. It also carries the Panch Vishais, i.e. sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touch, to their respective Indriyas, in other words, eyes, ears, etc. It is the vital force of all the Indriyas. Finally, I shall describe the attributes of Akash, space. It provides space for all jivas, and is the cause of the internal and external activities of their bodies. It is also where the prans, the vital breath, Indriyas, and Anthakarans reside. These are the attributes of Akash. In this manner, by knowing the attributes of the 24 elements, Prakriti, Purusha, and Kal, one is freed from ignorance. Moreover, one should know the process of creation of all of these, which I shall now describe. Swaminarayan is about to discuss the process of the creation of all of these elements, attributes of existence. While residing in his abode, Sri Krishna Bhagavan impregnates the womb of Maya, material existence, through the Akshar Purusha. Through the womb of countless millions of Pradhanas and Purushas are produced, through whom countless millions of Pradhans and Purushas are produced beings. What are those Pradhan Purusha pairs like? Well, they are the cause of the creation of millions of Brahmandas, like solar systems or galaxies or universes. It's not totally clear, but a unique place in creation where life takes place. There are many of them, not just our own solar system. Of these, I shall now tell you about one Pradhana Purusha pair, the cause of the creation of one Brahmanand. Firstly, Purushottam Sri Krishna Bhagavan, in the form of Purusha, impregnated the womb of Pradhan. From that Pradhan, Mahatattva evolved. From Mahatattva, the three types of Ahamkar evolved. From Sattvic Ahamkar, the man, the person, and the presiding devas of the Indriyas evolved, the deities. From Rajas Ahamkar, the 10 Indriyas, the Buddhi, intellect, and the Pranas, the vital breaths, evolved. And from the Tamas Ahamkar, the 5 Bhuts, experiences, and the 5 Tanmatras, organs of locomotion, evolved. In this way, all of these elements were produced. Then, inspired by God's will, each element with its own constitutes helped create the bodies of the Ishvars, the gods, and the Jivas, individual souls. A particular Ishvar's bodies are known as Virat, Sutratma, and Ayukrut, and a particular Jiva's bodies are known as Stul, Sukshma, and Karan. The body of the Ishvar called Virat has a lifespan of 2 parards. 14 manvantars elapse during one of Virat Purush's days. A manvantar is a whole age, a cycle of humanity. His night is of the same duration of the day. During his day, the lower 10 realms of the Brahmanand remain in existence, and after his night falls, they are destroyed. This is called Nimitta Pralaya. When the 2 parardas of Virat Purush have elapsed, the body of Virat is destroyed, along with Satyalok, the highest realm, and the other realms. At that time, Pradhan, Prakriti, Purusha, and the 24 elements, including Mahatattva, are absorbed back into Mahamaya. This is called Prakrit Pralaya, the dissolution of nature. When that Mahamaya is absorbed by the divine light of Akshara Brahman, like the night merges into the day, it is called Atyantik Pralaya. Also, the day-to-day death of the bodies of the individual deities, demons, humans, and others is called Nitya Pralaya. In this manner, by knowing the process of the creation, sustenance, and dissolution of the various realms, one develops vairagya towards the world and bhakti, devotion, towards God. Vairagya meaning dispassion towards the world. In addition, when all those Brahmanans, cosmic eggs, are destroyed, all other jivas lie dormant within Maya, whereas the devotees of God attain the abode of God. Again, Muktananda Swami inquired, "What is the abode of God like?" Sriji Maharaj replied, "The abode of God is without a beginning and without an end. It is divine, infinite, and indivisible, and is characterized by external or eternal, existence, consciousness, and bliss. Sat Chit Anandam. I shall describe it using an analogy. Imagine that this whole world, with all of its mountains, trees, humans, animals, and all other forms, is made of glass. Also imagine that all the stars in the sky are as bright as the sun, then, just as this glass world would glow with extreme beauty amidst this radiance, the abode of God is similarly beautiful. Devotees of God see this in samadhi and attain that luminous abode after death. A very technical Gadhadā, but one which is very satisfying to the intellect. That this whole process of creation also has a destruction at the end of the ages, much, much, much later in time. We're talking billions and trillions of years. But when that happens, this universe becomes unwound, or rather wound back into that source, ready to be unwound again. Knowing this to be such, how can we have attachment to the world when it is all temporary? But instead of getting caught up in that winding to be unwound into the Maya again, the material existence, one can, in effect, transcend that material existence by coming into unity, the nature of the divine which pervades it all. In this way, bhakti, devotion towards that source, is a necessary part of the spiritual journey, so as to not get caught up in the material existence, the Maya,